Hello, I'm here today to do a flip through of a McCall's sewing pattern envelope junk journal that I've made that will be listed in my Etsy shop hopefully by the 3rd or 4th of December, so this week. And this journal is 3 signatures. It's pretty chunky. It was made from a sewing pattern envelope, like I mentioned, but it is hardcover. So I took the envelope apart and backed it onto some book board, and then kind of sanded the edges so that it won't lift. It has not been coated. If you want to coat it, that could be something that you could do, but the envelope has lasted. I'm guessing this is from the at least maybe the 50s. I could be wrong. Maybe 60s, 40s through 60s, and it's in pretty good shape. So I think that it would be okay. I didn't want to risk ruining the surface by sealing it. But it does have sorry, I'm looking at my notes, about 2 1/4 inch spine. It measures about 6 inches by 7.5 inches. And like I said, it has 3 signatures. The back is also bookboard, and it is covered with some fabric, the same fabric that's on the spine. So we will take a look inside. There are 71 pages, so that would be about 142 front and back. And there are some printables in here, not a whole lot, but the various shops that I used printables from, I will have listed in the description. So we'll do a flip through. And on the front cover here, we have some pretty floral trim. I've done some collaging with some fabric to make a little tuck here. And this is from a vintage junior elf book. I can't remember which book it came from, but it's just sewn onto some cardstock that has little speckles for you to journal on or put a picture or something like that. This is a fabric pocket. This is some fabric as well and some trim. And this is just a little library card that I put this cute little applique on here. I think that this journal would make a really cute, really it could be anything, but to document a little girl or school, anything really. Here is a desk calendar page and a vintage postcard. This is from a Sears catalog, and I just backed it onto the back of that cardstock. These are some Dick and Jane replica post-it-lets. They are not true vintage, and there are a few of them in this book. Some vintage graph paper or ledger paper, music paper. A lot of this scrapbook paper that I used is from Simple Stories. They have an online printable paper. I had a hard time finding a paper line that would match with these colors that I liked. So I ended up finding it online, and it is printed on matte photo paper. So it's kind of the same thickness as regular scrapbook paper. And this is another fabric pocket here. This is a Project Life card, a little, it's kind of like a guest check receipt, but it's more the size of a library card, and a printable journaling card. This is one of my favorite pieces of vintage ephemera. It is a vintage menu, and the little guy is a squirt guy, and it's copyright 1946. This is a printable image and some pretty vintage trim, vintage calendar page. vintage label and some journaling spots with some pretty fabric pocket. A Viewmaster in the reel, and then this is a postulette. This is a vintage tally. This is a printable from KBandFriends, just as a journaling spot, and a vintage recipe card. I used some fabric washi that I made to line this paper to make a little pocket and make it so that it was strong and wouldn't get damaged as you're pulling things in and out. This is a vintage playing card that I used as a tuck spot, and I love my book, please return it label. This is the other half of the squirt menu. This is just a little kitchen talk pies advertising type thing. It's starting to come apart, so you can, it's all perforated, these recipes, so you can kind of tear it apart and use them, or just leave it clipped in here for ephemera. And bingo. This is the other half of the Sears catalog page, and a vintage playing card tuck. Some more fabric for a pocket, journaling card, alterations journaling card. This is a printable. I believe this one's from Pink Studio Printables, but like I said, all of the shops I used will be listed. Some pretty trim. This one I believe is from geckogalz. And this is a postulette. Some vintage wrapping paper. Little tuck spot here. This is that I think it's older computer paper, but there's a perforation here if you want to take the dotted spots off. This is a bingo card tuck. This is a more like a cardboard bingo, and a little collage of fabric. This is from a vintage travel journal. And some vellum. A vintage envelope. This one's from 1968. This is Denison sticker label, and it's a shower card. I thought it would be a cute place to journal in, and it's such a cute little graphic, and the colors match this paper perfectly. This is an image from a book. This is a reader of some sort. And this is another journaling tag like the one in the front that I had made from a junior elf book. A printable image. This is a vintage label. And this is a vintage label as well. And I just did a little fabric spine here and made a little booklet to do some journaling in. So there's a few pages here. Some typewriter paper. A lot of room to make it very customized. Tried not to over decorate this one. Some more fabric collage for a tuck here, and this is a printable from KBandFriends. A lined index card. This is some vintage writing paper. It was, I believe it was called like school spelling paper or something like that, but it was from 1909, so it's pretty old. I reinforced it with some washi on both sides. Paper doily. This is a vintage children's playing card and another label. This is a music flashcard from 1952. Some ledger paper. This is a Printable. I'll have to link this one because I'm not really, I wrote all of them down, but I get them a little bit mixed up with who made what, so I don't want to inaccurately say whose printable this was, but it is a printable. And this is a true vintage greeting card. It's small. Let's see if I have my ruler. It's about 3 inches by 4 inches. And it does open up, so there's quite a bit of room for journaling. This is some vintage stationery, advertising stationery from Curly Kate. This is vintage wallpaper and a playing card, Post-it note, and another printable. Some more typewriter paper. This is a printable image. This one is from frezeart. They have a Etsy shop where you can buy printables. And this is stationery with strawberries and this really cute fabric. It's like fabric ribbon, kind of. It almost feels like fabric that's been starched, so it's really good for making your own washi tape. And this is a tuck here and some pretty trim. This is a tuck as well. And then I just have this post-it tucked on in here. A playing card, catalog card, and recipe card. And these are all true vintage. They're not printables. This is an applique. And these are images from Ruby and Pearl XO on Etsy. She has these cute Polaroid of a little girl printable images, and a Revlon in her office memorandum. Another Denizen seal label and vintage envelope. All of the envelopes are in kind of different condition. Like this one, by time or heat or something, the little flap has gotten stuck here, and I don't want to risk ripping it. So if you wanted to, you could probably take like a hairdryer or a heat gun to this and maybe soften it up. I'm not sure. But you can still use it to put things in or journal on. And some fabric with a button. This was from a magazine. Let me see. I thought this one had a date on it, but I don't see it. This is a vintage price label and some ledger. This was a journaling card with some fabric. And a little miniature playing card. This is a printable. A little fabric and eyelet with applique, kind of layered. And then some playing cards, journaling card, and a post-it note. Some trim, more trim, and a fabric collaged pocket here on the back with a Yahtzee scorecard and another page from that travel journal. And that is the McCalls sewing pattern envelope. This is from doll clothes. I don't know if I mentioned that, or it was for to make doll clothes. So this will be listed in my Etsy shop. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.